I've decided to name my Xbox Series X Aloy. Because I am openly and shamelessly swooning.
That could be the least creepy thing you've said to me.
What's going on, everybody? Back with another video here this week, and if you're new here, my name is BauerKillz. I've got 32 years of day-to-day consecutive gaming XP, and I am the anti-shill. Passion personified. My goal is to be an objective source of truth for you to cut through that wave of BS that exists in this industry in a world where objectivity and honesty is as rare to find as a successful saunter through Dead Space 2 on hardcore mode without save scumming. If that sounds like the type of content that you can enjoy and get behind, then what I'd ask you to do is walk up to the like button and inform him that a man chooses and a slave obeys. And then ask the like button if it would kindly walk down the center of the Autobahn.
Wow. Enjoy hell, swamp mouth.
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click all notifications on the bell so you can see anytime I upload a new video or go live every Friday right here on YouTube. The Xbox Series X is the most impressed I have been with any console since the Nintendo 64.
It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I'm going there. This has been an abject and utter joy that has quite simply blown my mind out of the back of my skull.
Calm down.
This is something I was not expecting. I was expecting to unbox this Xbox Series X and be impressed with what I saw, but I wasn't expecting it to already be ranking in the top 3 of my most impressed out-of-the-box consoles of all time. Let me be very clear. Nothing will ever meet opening up a Super Nintendo with a copy of Super Mario World.
You're a monster.
But I'm not kidding when I say that this Xbox Series X over here, it comes close. As a lifelong PlayStation fan, I don't know if this is something I've simply been missing out on that's been around for a while, or if this is just simply a result of the incredible investments that Microsoft has put into their hardware, has put into their ecosystem, has put into new types of services like Game Pass, which fundamentally and completely and totally alter everything from the way you're experiencing your video games to the entire concept of what ownership means and how you consume them.
Lay off me, I'm starving.
This Xbox Series X has significantly been a better user experience. It has allowed me to play games in a more convenient way. And yeah, get this. It actually feels like a next generation console. Eat your heart out, Sony PlayStation 5. All right, let me calm down here a little bit. Let's start with the very first thing you experience as a user, the unboxing experience. It's going to sound kind of like a trivial, small type of thing, but the way that this Series X has impressed me, even in the minutia, that's something to write home about.
I had a grot Tim when I was chickacret. I had lost Ave mock-up on my FOSS.
Guys, I talk about this all the time, right? The concept in video games that it's the little things that elevate a title from good to phenomenal. And it's all the little things with this Xbox Series X that have managed to impress me to this level out of the gate.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Oh my god.
I lost my mind when I started unboxing this. The care and the attention that went into simply opening this thing was extremely impressive. Here's me on a Sunday afternoon a couple of weeks ago, marking out over the fact that they simply put tabs on the box. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys, even from a physical packaging perspective, opening up this Xbox has been not only more convenient, but more exciting, right? You got this little tab here. It's so satisfying. This should be on the subreddit, oddly satisfying. And you just pull down on that tab, and that'll allow you to cleanly get off the top of your Xbox Series X. Look at down here. Look at this. Even from a physical packaging standpoint, focused on you the consumer and the gamer. So right away I was impressed. It was fun to open. Microsoft has made it so that, yeah, even your quote unquote busy work is fun and engaging. And that's a theme that we're going to talk about here in a little bit when we start talking about this Microsoft reward system, but I digress. But the care and attention that went into packaging this Series X was palpable. It's something that I appreciated, especially when compared to opening up my PlayStation 5. I scuffed the box. This thing was beautifully packaged, so it was fun to unbox. And then the Xbox Series X itself. Listen, there ain't no bells and whistles. There aren't no, like, lady curves, we'll say, in there like the PlayStation 5 is.
I gotta tell you, I don't know what the hell this is, but I love it.
This thing, from the very design aspect of it, is here to do one thing and one thing only. And that's deliver an absolute powerhouse experience to the user. As I plugged my Series X in for the first time, I instantly noticed something that already elevated it above the PlayStation 5. The wireless updating of the controller. Here's a tweet that I threw up last year. I talk about, PlayStation 5 is talking about being next generation, but it certainly doesn't feel next generation, considering that every time I need to update the system and the controllers, I have to plug them in. I have to have a wired connection to update each of my controllers. Guys, that gets annoying over times. Yes, I get it. It's first world problems, but when we're talking about the user experience, it's very noticeable. It's one of a dozen or more things that make the PlayStation 5 still feel so rooted in the past.
That's what I hate about you. That's what I hate about you.
First thing I did on Xbox Series X was update my controller wirelessly. And it also updated in a much quicker period of time than the PlayStation 5 controllers do. It was immediately noticeable and something that I greatly appreciated, even though still that kind of falls on the smaller side of things. And then I fired up the console for the first time. I went through setup, and the first thing I was able to do was actually select an avatar or create one in the Microsoft avatar editor, which is kind of like a me from Wii, but it's actually engaging and fun, and there are a bunch of different things that you can do. So I created my own avatar, but I'm using a static avatar like I used to back on PlayStation when, PlayStation allowed you to select avatars and use themes in your background, which, by the way, there's something else. I also was able to select themes for my Xbox Series X. I'm not seeing at this point any loss in functionality of very basic, simple things like we saw very clearly and obviously with PlayStation 5.
Waves of pure joy are washing over me like a child experiencing his first Christmas morning. And I'm consumed with a rhapsodic delight, the likes of which I've never known. Wow.
And immediately after I kind of signed in for the first time and started looking around, I noticed how intuitive not only the menus were, but how at a glance I could see things like, who's online and who's playing, and who's gotten achievements and unlocks and unlock things, and there's settings here, and there's a customize the guide option. So instantly I'm being presented naturally, natively, organically,
indubitably,
with the ability to move things around on my dashboard and put things exactly how I want them, which was buried in the PlayStation 5 menus, if you can even do it.
Nope.
And then I pulled this bad boy out. This might be already, in 3 weeks, my favorite controller of all time.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I understand that this is mostly the same, except for maybe a couple buttons here or there, but my goodness, this thing feels like it was crafted specifically to fit in my hands. I don't even know where to begin when it comes to the controller. First thing I noticed were these little indents on the top of the thumbsticks where my thumbs fit perfectly. My goodness, they've got little grips on the side circularly. They've got this D-pad, and when you press the D-pad, it's got the most satisfying little clicking sound. It just makes me happy.
Oh, my pretty little pet. I love you.
They've got these little grips on the back. It's probably hard for you to see it, but it just fits right around like the inside of your hand where your thumb and your index finger are wrapping around. It just feels so premium.
So I stroke it, and I pet it, and I massage it.
The rumble in that controller. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because the controller's maybe a little bit more full or a little bit more hollow in places, but I could actually feel the rumble in my forearms. The rumble profile on this controller is second to none. And I'll be honest with you, I was more impressed by the rumble on this controller. It was far more noticeable than any of the haptic feedback that I've experienced, at least up to this point, on the PlayStation 5. Now listen, adaptive triggers and haptic feedback, they can be used well, and when they are absolutely a value add, and really the only thing at all that feels somewhat next generation about the PlayStation 5.
You bastard!
But even when those are done well on the PlayStation, I simply prefer the rumble in this controller more than even the PlayStation controller when haptic feedback and adaptive triggers are done right. It took me no time at all to get used to what the buttons were, to using it. I literally just started playing and everything felt native. Everything felt intrinsic to the way that I want to play games and how I do play games. And of course, you can remap the buttons in your Xbox Series X to suit you and all that good stuff. All of those little bells and whistles, those are there, and they're there in spades.
Love it. I love my little naughty pet. You're naughty.
And then I fired up Game Pass for the first time. Yo.
What's up?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What I found in Game Pass, in my opinion, is one of the most revolutionary things I've ever seen in this medium. And I'm not being hyperbolic here.
It seems like you have a tenuous grasp on the English language in general.
Okay, well, filibuster.
I knew Game Pass was a thing, and it looked like it was going to be really cool and really awesome. But what I was not expecting was to find a vast library of utterly fantastic games, including multiple Game of the Year contenders from last year and potential Game of the Year contenders for this year that are going to launch on day one. And this will become most likely the de facto or primary way of AAA juggernauts to release to gamers at an incredibly affordable and unbelievable price.
$1 million.
There's a lot that I want to say about Game Pass. So much, in fact, that I've got a dedicated video coming to discuss and dispel the notion that all that exists on Game Pass are low, mid-tier, crappy games, and I'm looking forward to that. First thing that I played on it was The Ascent. It's absolutely worth your time. Another video I'm going to do. I've also downloaded Psychonauts to kind of prepare for Psychonauts 2 that's coming out later this month. The next thing I put on my console was the Master Chief Collection, and it's been just an absolute blast. The gameplay of Halo, even the original Halo, has held up unbelievably well.
Why won't you die?
I am amazed at how Microsoft has modernized their content and allowed me to consume it decades later.
How do you like how that shit works?
Something else here too is I know whatever I buy or whatever I purchase and whatever I decide to invest in with my Xbox Series X, I love knowing that I can purchase these things and not ever have to worry again about being recharged for it like Sony's constantly doing with their other games. The ecosystem and the infrastructure, it's all in place because Microsoft has that gamer first mentality and they care about us, or at least it feels that way, whether they're doing it for honorable reasons or not.
Trust me.
But beyond that, we're talking about the user experience. And the Microsoft reward system is something I was not aware really existed, at least not to this level. So essentially what Xbox has done is give you a way to cash in on all of the normal logistical busy work type of things that you do on any of your other consoles. Oh, you're going to go into a game service and download a game?
Treat yourself.
Oh, here's 25 points. Oh, you're going to go open that game and you're going to get that achievement?
Treat yourself.
Oh, you logged into your mobile application?
Treat yourself.
Here's another 25 points for you. And then when you go to your PC later, you see all the points that you've accrued and you see on your PC, because we got this connected ecosystem going now, they've put structure around this. You don't have to do any of this, but naturally you're just always accruing points, which you can use to get new months for free of Xbox Gold. For Game Pass, you can over time accrue this by just doing the things that you do anyway, and it is so satisfying. And the structure and the organization they've put around it, where you have like daily quests and weekly quests and monthly quests, they've made busy work fun. I mean, how awesome is that?
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that
was awesome.
I just can't get over how awesome this entire experience right off the bat has been. And that's why I'm calling my Xbox Series X Aloy, because I absolutely adore it.
I'm flattered that you think of me this way, but...
Guys, listen, I know people are going to come in here and they're going to just say I'm an Xbox fanboy and I'm Xbox show. Here's an idea. How about you go watch my Microsoft E3 video? Yeah, the one where I completely and totally excoriated them for calling something the Xbox Bethesda Game Showcase and then not talking about any of Bethesda's biggest franchises. Yeah, that one. I keep it real here, ladies and gentlemen. This has been such an elevated and superior experience in practically every way. And don't get me wrong, there are some drawbacks. I had a licensing issue the other day where I couldn't play anything on my console until I actually powered the thing down and power cycled it. That means taking the plug out of the wall. And I had to sit there and I waited 30 seconds, plugged it back in. That solved the issue. But that didn't make me feel all that great.
What's going on here?
I talked earlier about the wireless updating of the controller, but a trade-off with the controller is that they run on 2 AA batteries. You're going to have to use those AA's quite often to keep your controllers up and running, and that is absolutely an additional cost. But with the amount of money that you're saving if you're invested in Game Pass, the way that you're saving money by not having to buy remasters, by not having to rebuy your content, you are saving so much money that it honestly really doesn't matter. Actually experiencing it is so much better than I was anticipating in my mind's eye it being. Completely and totally changed my perspective on what is possible for console video games and given me an experience of what it feels like to open and experience a true next generation console. Guys, I'm going to have a whole lot more to say about the Xbox Series X as the months and the years roll on. This is just the start of me documenting my journey over from PlayStation to Microsoft. And I couldn't be any more impressed out of the gate, and I'm very excited to continue talking with you guys about it, showcasing games on my stream and the console itself. So stay tuned for this channel for all things console gaming. More importantly, thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate it. We're coming up here already on 1,000 subscribers. Come hang out with me on a Friday Arsenal stream. We've had a great group of people who have been there. Appreciate all that you do. More importantly, though, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless, and we'll see you in the next video.